So we're going to continue our coverage over the Eternals, the 2021 series, and we pick up with the second half of Volume 1. Now, when it comes to the second half of Volume 1, we have to remember that right now we are getting a story where it is the death of the Eternals, because right now the main suspect, Thanos, is going around killing off the Eternals. Now usually the Eternals have a way to come back to life. Unfortunately, that way is no longer there, and the reason why, because their way was their machine. See, once they die, the machine is able to bring them back to life. The problem is the machine is not working, and so of course if they die, they can no longer come back to life. But here are some other problems as well, because when it comes to the machine, it also gives the Eternals the ability to teleport all over the world at a faster rate. But on top of that, the machine is built inside the Earth, and so it kind of helps the Earth stay alive. And if the machine is not working, that means the Earth could die sooner or later. They only have a couple days, or really a few weeks, to get the machine back and running again to save the Earth. And so when we jump into today's storyline, we pick up with Cersei and Phastos. And when it comes to Cersei, she's telling Phastos that he has to continue to find a way to get the machine working again, because right now they're on a time limit. If they're not able to get the machine back up and running, the Earth is gonna die. And so you have Cersei say, I'm gonna leave for right now, and I'm hoping to come back with the idea the machine is working again. But I'm going to pay a visit to Tony Stark to see him and the Avengers or the Illuminati could help us save the Earth. Even though I feel like when it comes to regular humans, they can't handle an eternal problem like this at all. And so unfortunately, I feel like this is going to be a pointless meeting. We jump over to Polaria, and we have to remember at the end of our last video, the entire people of Polaria were killed off. And that is very huge, because now there are no survivors except one, and that would be Droog. Now the main suspect is still Thanos, but you also have other suspects as well, like Droog. When it comes to Droog, for me personally, he's kind of like the Loki of the Eternals. He's always up to something. He's always scheming. And so right now, with his entire people being dead here in Polaria, you have Thena and Kingo believe that maybe Droog is behind the killing of the people of Polaria. But right now you have Droog say, it's not me. Like, why would I do that? That means I killed off my own father. But the reason why he would do that is so he'll be able to get a higher ranking level in the internal line. And so they're saying, you may say you're innocent, but in reality, I believe you killed off your father and the entire people of Polaria so that you may now become a new superior internal. But while you have Kingo, Thena, and also Droog talking to one another and trying to figure out if Droog is actually innocent, well, they're confronted by Thanos. Because we have to remember that technically Thanos is an internal, but a tad bit different, still internal. Either way, when it comes to Thanos, he does reappear right behind our heroes. And this is a very huge problem, because when it comes to Kingo, Droog, and also Thena, they didn't realize that Thanos has the ability to use the tunnels that help Eternals teleport across the world so freely. And that is a problem when it comes to the machine now working correctly, because now the machine has given someone like Thanos the ability to access tunnels that he should no longer have access to. But either way, when he does appear, it does lead into a battle between him and the heroes who are right now in Polaria. Now this does last for a few pages, but while you have the fight going on, well, you didn't have Droog try to use his mind powers on Thanos. Now, for us at first, we already know that this is a dumb idea, because Thanos is not somebody who could be easily tricked by some kind of psychic attack. If you're going to try to defeat Thanos, you need a more complicated but better plan to trick him and to keep him off his feet. Either way, you have Thanos being able to go toe to toe with our heroes, except you didn't have Athena being able to stab Thanos from behind. And with him doing that, he realized he has to leave because now he has been injured, literally injured, to the point where he could bleed out and die. We then have to jump back over to Sprite. Now remember, this is a new version of Sprite because Sprite in this time period is now a female. Usually Sprite is a male, but apparently when it comes to Eternals, every few thousands of years, they go through a change, and sometimes they can come back as a man or a woman or something else sometimes. Either way, when it comes to Sprite, she came back as a girl, a little girl who is an Eternal, but she was assigned to watch over a character known as Toby. And the reason why, because Icarus, the main character of the Eternals, had a vision where he saw Toby die, but apparently Icarus was mourning his death. But for Icarus, he has no idea why he would mourn the death of Toby. And so he has gone out of his way to make sure that nothing happens to Toby at all. Unfortunately, at the end of the story, something does happen to Toby. Either way, you had Icarus leave Sprite behind to watch over Toby, to make sure that nothing happens at all. But you also have Icarus saying, I have to go help the rest of the Eternals deal with this problem we have right now, because somebody is trying to get rid of us, but also the entire Earth as well. But we have to jump back over to our heroes that fought against Thanos. Now, doing that, we do pick up with our heroes realizing Droog is innocent, because if Thanos did appear and killed off the entire people of Polaria, that means Droog was not the one who had done it, which means he's now in the clear. And so you have Athena and also Kingo say, we have to leave for now and try to find another way to hunt down Thanos, but to also kill him off. Now, once they do leave, another portal opens up and you have Thanos reappear. Now, at first, you're left to believe that Thanos and Droog have been working together this entire time. That is incorrect. Is Droog saying, when I went to your mind, I realized that you are working with a traitor. Now, I have no idea who that traitor is, but I found that very offensive. Because Thanos, if you were trying to get rid of the Eternals, and if you were looking for a traitor, you should have came to me first. Either way, I say now you and I should work together to see what your master plan could actually do. But when we jump into the 5th chapter of the book, we pick up with Cersei meeting up with Tony Stark. Because remember, she did say that she's going to ask for his help and the rest of the Illuminati to also help out to find a way to actually save the Earth. But at the same time, she also said that she does not believe that the humans could be able to help the Eternals deal with this certain problem. Either way, while you do have the two characters having this lunch, dinner, whatever, well, you did have Cersei reveal that she has been working for Thanos this entire time, that in reality, sooner or later, Thanos is going to be the ruler of the entire world, or possibly universe. But right after she says that, well, she is grabbed by somebody from behind who's coming through another portal. And we come to find out that she was grabbed by the Forgotten One. See, the Forgotten One is one of those Eternals that's really more on the human side rather than the Eternal side. And so anytime the Eternals have a problem, when it comes to the Forgotten One, well, most of the time he tries his best to not help the other Eternals out. But when it comes to the humans, he's really down to help them out a whole lot more. Either way, the reason why you have the Eternals coming after the Forgotten One, because in the past, when the machine had not worked properly in the past, it was because of him as well in the past. And so they believe that right now, the reason why machine is not working properly is because of him once again. Because he's a character that truly understands the machine from the inside out. Either way, you do have Icarus fight against the Forgotten One and actually defeats him. And so we jump back over to Thanos and Droog. And when we do, it's really more Thanos telling Droog that before this series, Thanos was dead, or he thought he had died, but somebody brought him back to life, which means that whoever did betray the Eternals, they were the ones who brought Thanos back to life, but is also using Thanos to get rid of the Eternals. Now, we're not being told who was the person that brought Thanos back to life and who is using Thanos to attack the Eternals, or why is the person doing that in the first place. But we come to find out that Thanos technically cannot die now, thanks to the person who brought him back to life. But when it comes to Droog, you have Droog say, you know what, Thanos? Let's try a different way to kind of get back to the person who had brought you back to life, but to also make you a free man once again. But when we pick back up with the Eternals, you have the Eternals right now talking to the Forgotten One. And when it comes to the Forgotten One, they really believe that he is the reason why the machine is not working. And because again, in the past, he was known to have messed with the machine as a way to get back at the Eternals. But this time he says, no, it wasn't me. Now we already know it's not Droog. We already know it is Thanos, but Thanos is helping somebody, which means that somebody in the group is actually a traitor. But the question is though, who? And right now the Eternals are questioning the wrong person because it's not the Forgotten One. He even says, listen, let me prove to you that I'm actually innocent. But on top of that though, he says, when it comes to the machine will heal itself over time. Meaning that even if the machine is broken over time, the machine will recover, which means that somebody else did something where the machine is unable to actually heal itself. And so again, why would I do that? And so he says, let me show you that I am innocent. And you have the other Eternals agree to let him show his proof, his evidence that basically he is an innocent person. Now Icarus says, if you do lie, I will beat the truth out of you. And so you have the Forgotten One take our heroes over to an area where he says, listen, if I was going to sabotage the machine, I would come here because this one area could do heavy damage to the machine. But at the same time, if you are a scientist and you are trying to fix the machine, well, you would come here first to make sure that this area was not sabotaged. And that is very important because if the Forgotten One did it, then Phastos, who's right now trying to fix the machine, would come here first, but he never did. And so you have the Forgotten One say, oh, if that's the case, then in reality, the person who did it is Phastos, because I taught him what to do if the machine is not working properly. You come here first. It's a well-known fact. And the thing is, if he's trying to save the Eternals, but also the machine, well, he should have came here first. And he didn't. And so that tells our heroes, Phastos is actually a traitor. And once he realized that he has been caught and the Eternals are on their way over to him, he says, Thanos, it's time for you to get to work. Which means that he was the one who brought Thanos back to life. But on top of that though, he says he's not trying to destroy the Earth. He was only trying to destroy the Eternals. But again, we still have no idea why. And so we do jump back 1 month in the past. And when we do, we pick up with Phastos bringing Thanos back to life. Because Thanos did die around the same time the Eternals did. Except the Eternals came back thanks to the machine. Except Phastos was the first one to come back. And that is very important. And the reason why, because as soon as he came back, he began to go deeper into the machine to learn more dark secrets about the machine. And remember, the machine is part of the Earth. And this begins the process of us learning more about the machine, but also the Eternals. But apparently, whatever he discovered down there, he realized something evil or something wrong with the machine, but also with the Eternals as well. And so he says, listen, I have a job for you, but you cannot betray me. But let you know right now, the job I'm giving you is a job you are going to like, which is killing off the Eternals. Are you down? And of course, we know Thanos all like, yeah, man, I'm down. Let's go ahead and kill some Eternals. Let's do this. But getting back over to the present day, everything is falling apart because while you have the Eternals trying their best to get over to where Phastos is at, but also the machine, well, they're confronted by Thanos. And when it comes to Thanos, you already know homeboy is not playing around at all. Thanos says, you know what? I was told to kill you guys, and so I'm going to kill you guys. Now, we do see the Eternals actually being able to overpower Thanos, but here is the problem, because while our heroes are fighting against Thanos, you have Phastos saying the machine is too far gone, meaning that right now the Earth could possibly die here in a matter of hours. Starting with the weather could go crazy enough where now you're going to have some serious damage across the world thanks to the weather. But on top of that, other things are going to begin to happen because machine is no longer working. And so you have Phastos say, I need help here. I need somebody to actually fix the heart of the machine. Once they're able to do that, the machine should be able to operate correctly once again. And so you have Icarus lead the Eternals who are fighting against Thanos to go ahead and take him down, but at the same time to save the entire world. And so as soon as he leaves and arrives, you have Phastos tells him what to do. You have to fix the heart of the machine. Icarus leads. And here comes a very crucial moment, because when it comes to Phastos, he did have a way to control Thanos. And just in case Thanos did try to portray him, he did have a backup plan to shut down Thanos. The problem is though, when he does try to remember how to shut down Thanos, well, Drew steps in and makes him forget. And that is very huge. And the reason why, because now Thanos can die. Thanos will stay alive. And with him being alive, that means he can do a whole lot more evil things in the Marvel Universe. All thanks to Phastos, but really all thanks to Droog as well. Either way, you do have Icarus being able to get to the heart of the machine and being able to fix it and to be able to save the day. But this leads into us learning the dark secret about the Eternals. Now, Icarus did die when he was trying to fix the machine. Really, he did fix the machine, but he still died. But his death is really important. And the reason why, because when it comes to Icarus' death, it ties back into his vision, but also the dark secret that Phastos knows. And what I mean by that is, you have Phastos tells the other Eternals that when he came back to life first, after the rest of the Eternals, he went back into the machine to learn the dark secrets about the machine. And he did learn one in particular. And that one particular secret was that every single time an Eternal dies and comes back to life, a human dies as well. But their life energy is given over to an Eternal to bring that Eternal back to life. And so right now you have Icarus coming back to life, which means that right now a random human is dying. Except this time it's not going to be a random human. It's going to be Toby. Because let's not forget, Icarus saw a vision where in the future he was going to mourn the death of Toby. But at that point, he never met Toby. He had no idea who Toby was. Now, over the last video, in this one, he did get a tad bit closer to Toby because now he knows him. But now we know why in the future he was going to be sad, because Toby dies so that he is able to come back to life. And so now for Eternals, the question is, how can we change that? Because for the Eternals, their main goal is to protect the Earth, but to also protect the humans as well. Except now they realize that they're kind of part of the reason humans die, because every single time they die, a human dies when they try to come back to life. Now, with the machine working properly, they are able to bring back Zuras. Now, when it comes to Zuras, remember, he was the leader of the Eternals that died at the very beginning of this series. with the machine working again, they are able to bring him back to life. And once they do, they tell him the dark secret about the machine. Now, once he hears the dark secret, you then have the Eternals tell him, hey, our main goal right now is to change how the machine works, because right now you are talking about the idea that every single time we die and come back to life, a human dies, but of course they cannot come back to life. And that is very, very important. Now, when it comes to Zuras, he says, you know what, fine. If we're going to do that, all the Eternals across the board have to agree. That means all Eternals across the galaxy, universe, Earth, whatever, has to agree on this. And so with that being said, he says, it's time for us to call a meeting in the Unimind. Now, the Unimind is a newer concept where the Eternals are able to connect their minds all together to have a conversation about big topics like this one right here. And the problem is, though, you have Cersei tell our group here that technically they are going to lose that battle, because there are more Eternals who don't care for humans rather than Eternals who do care for humans. And so right now, when it comes down to voting, they're gonna lose that battle. They have to find a different way to actually change the machine. But the question is, though, how? How are they going to do that? And so to close on today's video, we see the Eternals go over to Lemuria. And when they do, they are trying to find a specific person who could actually help them change how the machine works. But the problem is, though, it seems like this person is very evil. And for them to go there, well, it's them saying we have no other choice. If we're going to accomplish something here, we have to go to this person right here to accomplish our goal. But this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.